There was a late-day cabinet meeting in Ontario today, and CBC News has learned that new measures will come into effect tomorrow at midnight. Those measures will include an emergency declaration with a stay-at-home order, and there's a lot more planned. What does this all mean? What will be closed? What stays open? Magda Gabrisalasa has been chasing the details and joins us now. So Magda, can you walk us through what we now know about the stay-at-home order?
Well, a lot of changes coming through. So we know that the stay-at-home order will be province-wide, and this is something we were expecting to hear, but now we know that, in fact, that will be announced. So let's talk about what's open and what's closed. This is essentially going to impact the non-essential businesses more than anything else. So those retail shops, they can no longer have customers inside their stores during the current shutdown that we've been under. They were allowed to do that. Now, those retail shops will have to rely on curbside and delivery. What about those big box stores? Well, they can only keep the pharmacy and the grocery aisles open. Everything else has to be blocked off. As for what's staying open, grocery stores, pharmacies are staying open, garden centers are staying open as well. And this, of course, is a means to kind of address what we've been seeing in the last few days. There have been videos of large crowds in different various settings, whether it's malls or big box stores. And so these restrictions really moving to address some of that. And what we know is that they will be in place for at least 4 weeks, and police enforcement will be part of this, Adrienne.
Okay, so that's interesting. That will probably take a little while to get into effect. But are you hearing reaction to any of these renewed restrictions?
Well, we have been hearing from doctors for days now. They have been calling for a stay-at-home order, so no doubt they'll be pleased to hear that that is being put in place. But earlier today, we spoke with doctors who had signed a letter, more than 200 of them, who had asked the province to put in more stricter measures, including a stay-at-home order. They also asked for paid sick days for essential workers, the vaccination of essential workers to be prioritized, having 24-hour vaccination sites also be put in place. And all of this was to address what is the surging cases of COVID in this province. We know today more than 3,000 new cases, hospitalizations are up, ICU admissions. In fact, 510 people are in the ICU. That is the most that has been recorded since the pandemic began. And so these doctors had sent this letter to the province asking for stricter measures, and that, you know, it would take stricter measures to really put a stop to the spread of this virus. And of course, now we know that a stay-at-home order is being put in place for at least 4 weeks. So some of the requests that those doctors have made will be met. Adrienne.
Indeed. So none of this has been announced yet. We know we're expecting to hear more from the Premier tomorrow. This is just what CBC News has been able to learn tonight. We also heard that Ontario is expanding vaccine eligibility. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, that was the other big news today. We heard that the province was moving vaccinations to people that were 50 in hot zones. So that was the big news. But then we were hearing criticism from others who was saying, you know what, the province really needs to vaccinate younger essential workers, that needed to be a priority. Now, those younger essential workers are not going to be made a priority until mid-May, possibly. And that's what we were hearing. We were hearing a lot of criticism. I spoke to one teacher who said teachers, essential workers really need to get those vaccines now. A grocery store owner told me he's worried about taking the virus home, and he wants to get the vaccination. He wants his workers to be vaccinated as well, and they want to be made a priority right now. We may hear that things may change and they maybe become the priority in the next few days, but we should learn more tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Magda. Certainly listening to you talk, mobile vaccinations will be part of what we understand is coming later on in the show. Everyone, we'll see that, a team going door to door in a critical Toronto neighborhood. Thank you for all that work, Magda. Thank you.
You're welcome.